What if the reason that you're exhausted after a vacation or a girls' weekend or a spa day, massage, or a day off is because you keep taking a break from the life that you actually need to change? High capacity women are incredibly good at functioning while depleted. So I am going to say that again. High capacity women are incredibly good at functioning well depleted. Hi, Anna. Hi, Jan. Welcome, welcome on my side of Facebook land. While people joining us here, I am going to hop right into it because this is going to be longer than my normal, 5 minute quick Manic Monday lives, but I think I wanted to reserve a little bit longer, maybe 15, 20-minute talk about this subject because there is a common thread that I have seen lately, and I think it's time to talk about it. So, this is exactly why we need more than a break. Because, again, I'm going to say it one more time, high capacity women are incredibly good at functioning well depleted. So, we need more than a break because we don't always stop when we are overwhelmed. We adapt. We figure it out. We pivot, queen of pivot over here. We organize. Guys, I spent like hours organizing my office the other day because, I was probably feeling overwhelmed. So why not? Why not get organized, right? We problem solve. We take care of everybody. We move things around in our calendar like one giant puzzle. We wake up early. We stay up late. We find a way to carry one more thing. I even find myself when I'm typing out my notes, instead of stopping and saying, okay, I'm going to table this for later, just one more. Just one more. 10 more minutes. One more note. Because we're still functioning, sometimes nobody realizes how depleted we are, including ourselves. So here's the trickiest part that I have found is that our capacity can actually become the thing that keeps us stuck. Just because you can carry things doesn't mean we should. And feel free to chime in, give me like a like or girl same or click click or whatever if something's clicking with you or resonating with you because I feel like this is a conversation I'm having over and over and over again, but in like this low level undermining way. It's not like we're saying these things out loud. It's just these little tiny undertones of it. Like we say, I just need a break. I find myself saying that I just need a break. I just need a break. But what if we need more than a break? What if you don't just need rest? What if we need recalibration? And I want to tell you why I have been thinking about this so much lately. So amazing interaction. Jan is saying, I'm feeling called out this morning, but in a good way. Girl, I love you. I love you. You're rocking it as a mama, but I think, samesies, like we mirror each other, right? One of the things I do is create space to breathe or even nap. Yes. Like building in, like I did a breathwork session this morning. I went to a flow fit class. So it's building it into your schedule, not because it's just one more thing, right? But because this is intentional. So what if we need to recalibrate? So I've been sitting with this, right? So 2019, y'all, we're going back. We're going back to pre-COVID. So there's that. I planned the shit out of a trip. We took the kids to Disney. Okay. I mean, like, let me tell you, I planned the shit out of this trip. And like, it didn't feel like work. It didn't feel hard. It was like so exciting, right? It was just like, we're going to do this, and this day we're going to go here. And I opened up the whole day for just space, right? You know how back in the day you could have, like, you could skip the line. I forget what they called it. Fast pass, I think is what it was called. I'm not a Disney expert here, guys, but um and so like I'm like, yeah, we'll do one fast pass in the morning and one fast pass in the afternoon so that we're not rushing through life to get to everything. And I made space throughout the whole day to just do whatever we were called to do because I had a 6 and 3-year-old, guys, right? Like they're gonna they're gonna rule the day. They're gonna navigate where we're it's their world, we're just living in it, right? So as we're walking through Disney and we see the Star Wars characters come through, right? And I remember looking down and I remember seeing these little legs running and my kids, right? These fast as they could. They were trying to keep up. Then we were over in the Toy Story land, right? And they were trying to keep up with the Green Army men and like trying to keep up with them and their little legs and jumping through the hula hoops and things like that. And there were all these little moments at one point because I had planned things. I left space, right? So perfectly. We walked out of getting out of one like event. We went, I think we did like the safari. We walked out of that and we were like, oh, look at the Lion King is starting in 10 minutes. Do you guys want to go? We walk in. As we walk out of the Lion King, we realized we had missed a rainstorm. A huge rainstorm had just come through while we were inside, so we didn't have to actually be out in the rain. Like it was like divine timing, right? And after one of the other days at the park, long day, we come back and my husband and I were sitting outside. My parents were with us and they were inside with the kids or in the pool with the kids. And my husband and I just sat out on the porch for a few minutes, just the two of us. And we were just at this beautiful Airbnb, just kind of taking it in. It was quiet, and we were sitting there talking just about life and about the day. And he started talking about the trip and how it felt so perfectly planned and how impressed he was that I had like planned it all. And to me, honestly, I feel like it was the first time that I had heard him say stuff like that because for me, this wasn't a big deal. It was easy. The planning part, it's what I do for a living, right? Like I'm planning as an entrepreneur. But to him, he noticed it. And he told me that he was proud that I was able to put that together and like as a mom, as a wife, and everything I do for our family. And I remember sitting there and really hearing him for the first time, him seeing me differently. And I remember just being like, holy shit, I did this. I created this life. I created this moment. And I started thinking about those little moments from that day, watching the Star Wars characters, watching my kids react to it, watching their little legs run around. All these little moments just aligned perfectly because I created space. It wasn't about having this perfect like itinerary. It was about what I created in the space, room for fun, room for connection, room for memories, and maybe most importantly, room for safety. That feeling like we're together, we're good. And maybe even deep down, like mom's got us. That's who I wanted to be. Not just the woman that works full time. And at that time I worked at a hospital. I was supervising at a hospital. But not the mom that works full time or the mom that has a really great job, right? Or the mom who's getting everybody where they need to go. That's the person who's checking off all the things on the list, that's getting everything moving and going. but I wanted to be somebody who was intentionally creating life. And when we got home after that trip, I started noticing these moments differently. That trip changed me. Not in a Disney magical way, but in a way that I would enter back into my life with changed patterns. So I wasn't just escaping life, resting, and then popping back into this life. I was changing how I thought about my life and how I behaved inside of it. I wanted to be more present at work and at home. I wanted to be able to be available in a different way. I was recalibrating. I came home and I put my 2 weeks in at my job. I was making really good money, guys, and it was a decent job. And I really liked the people I worked with. But there was something that changed. It wasn't a tiny decision. It was leaving something familiar. It was me saying the way I've been doing this life. Sorry, I'm getting a call. The audacity. The way I'm doing this life isn't the way I want to keep doing it. And that's the importance about rest versus recalibration. Because recalibration isn't always, I'm going to take better care of myself, or, gosh, this dog, y'all, this is what happens when you go live. Go on. Yeah. So, anyways, it's about recalibrating is about changing something. It might be changing a boundary. It might be changing your schedule. It might be changing your relationship or a relationship or relationships in general. It might be changing an expectation or a version of yourself. Go on. Or a version of yourself, right? That you were holding on to because it was familiar. I had no idea what was coming. None of us did. Because then, y'all, 2020 happened and the whole world shut down, and that was a whole nother beast, right? So let me just see what people are saying. Jan, I feel, oh, wait, yep, she said that. Okay, I thought there was something else here, but so suddenly we were home, right? If we remember 2020, and that was a whole chaos. That was a whole, you know, different way of life. And we had to adjust again. And I think this is where the story of high capacity women gets really interesting, because when life gets really chaotic, high capacity women tend to do, right? We step into that masculine energy, we become even more capable. We figure shit out. We pivot, we adapt, we carry more, we make it work. We hold it all together until we break, and then we say, I just need a break. And sometimes we're so fucking good at survival, y'all, that people don't realize that we're just stuck inside of that. So, flash forward from 2019 to 2021, I ended up leaving that next secure job to go out and work for myself. Another recalibration, because I was done working for other people and taking breaks from that life, and I was ready to create something. I needed that trust in myself in 2019 to launch into the trust and belief that I could create something in 2021. But just because you have the capacity to build more doesn't necessarily mean you should keep adding more. And somewhere along the way, I started to ask myself that question: did I create this freedom only to fill every single inch of it? this is the thing we do, right? We look at our calendar and we want it's so busy and we're like, I want to create space and create freedom. And maybe we do this intentionally, but then we backfill it with all the things that we feel like we should be doing. So now flash forward, right? 2021 happens. I leave the public side of things. I come into my private practice, the evolution of my business, the alchemy experience, and that is holistic in way of providing therapeutic intervention for some and also coaching and networking events and hosting retreats and different things because I find that it's not just about the rest, it's about recalibrating. So I'm integrating these different things inside my business to support other people in their reinvention in the season they're in and their recalibration. So we go into a couple months ago, 2026, and my family and I take a trip to Italy for 2 weeks. Let me just say, it was amazing. Also, 2 weeks is a really long time to be with your family out of the country. 14 days. Amazing experience. Also, wild, wild, right? You get real close with your family. But I came home changed again. But this time it was really different. Probably for the first time in a really long time, I didn't care about making more money or supporting my family monetarily. Because I thought for a really long time, building a business, that's what I would do. Is like I would support my family and give them opportunity, right? But that can be a whole nother, you can get really caught up in that. And for those of you that own your own business, you know what I mean. I didn't care about what I was building next. I wasn't thinking about what's the next program, what's the next thing I'm creating, what's the next thing I'm building, the next idea, the next level. None of that was on my mind. I was looking at what was right in front of me. My husband, my boys, our family, sitting around a table together, walking through these little towns, these little streets, eating incredible food, trying new things, watching my kids experience a different culture, another part of the world, laughing our asses off together, just being. And I remember having the realization, I don't want more. I want this. I don't need more. I don't need shiny. I don't need bigger. I want more of this. And that was a really big deal for me because I'm a doer, I'm a builder, I'm a creator, I'm a go-getter, I'm a dreamer, and I love what I do. I love this business. I love working with people. I love the moments that I see something click for somebody and it changes them, much like recalibration. I don't want to stop being that person. And somewhere along the way, I think I started believing that growth always meant more. More money, more impact, more programs, more people, more opportunities, more. And Italy reminded me of something that Disney had shown me 7, 8 years prior. Some of the most meaningful things I will ever create aren't things I can sell. They're the moments. They're the feeling of home inside of us. Bye, Anna. Thanks for being here, girl. So maybe growth means being present enough to enjoy what we already built. And that is recalibration. Does the life I'm creating still match what matters to me now? Because the woman I was sitting on the porch in Disney World in 2019 needed permission to create. She needed to believe that she could build something different. And then she did. But this woman who went to Italy in 2026, she needed permission to stop constantly reaching for more and just actually receive what I've created. And I think that's the part of recalibration we don't talk enough about. Sometimes the next version of you isn't asking you to do more. It's asking you to just be here. We need rest. Rest is super important, right? Like it's recovery. We need sleep. We need vacations. We need time to chill. We need downtime. We need sleep and rest. It's what your mind and your body need, but recalibration is a reassessment. Why am I so tired in the first place? Why am I returning after this rest to feel depleted still? Does the way I'm spending my time and energy actually match what matters to me? Rest helps you recover so that you can return. Recalibration asks whether you should return to everything the same way. I love me some rest, you guys. I love a good nap. I love a good book and a couch and a bed. And let me tell you, if I'm going to put my clinical hat on, right? Your brain and your body need rest. That's how we start to molecularly, so our body regenerates, right? So that we can problem solve, we can take care of things, we can respond, we can anticipate. I'm gonna geek out for a second, but this is our sympathetic nervous system that goes, right? That's where our hypothalamic and pituitary and adrenal glands, right? That the cortisol levels, all of that, that's all our sympathetic nervous system. Rest gives our system the opportunity to shift towards recovery. So that parasympathetic nervous system, we can rest and digest. Not just what we've consumed in food and all of that, but so that our mind can regenerate what it needs to. So we need both. We need the sympathetic and we need the parasympathetic nervous system. They go hand in hand to create our life, right? So, like, we need the rest. However, I think it's important that we lean into recalibration as well. Your body asks for the space. Your brain asks for the space. Rest matters. But when your soul is asking if you're going to do differently, do life differently, so that you don't have to keep recovering from the same shit over and over and over again. Right? I used to take days off strategically because I just needed a break from the work I was doing in the community, from the work I was doing in the hospital. I intentionally build that out in my day now. I don't need a rest from my job. Love what I do. So, all of this to say, asking yourself, are you just constantly trying to rest and recover, rest and recover, rest and recover, as if we're treating our body and our mind like a workout process and a workout program? Or are you resting and recalibrating? Resting and recalibrating. Because that is where the magic happens. This is exactly why I've become so passionate about creating this space for women. Because I don't think most of us need someone else telling us what to do. When people tell me what to do, I get a little bit edgy. If you know, you know. So I think sometimes we need enough space to actually just hear ourselves. And that is why I've created the Unboxed Retreat. It's what it's about. That is what the Unboxed Mastermind is all about. But we do have the Unboxed Retreat coming up. I'm on a live, buddy. Yeah, thank you. It's summertime and the struggle is real. Close the door. The little one. Always got to know what's going on. So, the Unboxed Retreat is all about resting and recalibrating. It's learning how to integrate the two. It's not a girls' weekend. It's not a 3 days of escaping life. So you can go back home on Sunday and just like go right back into Monday. Of course, we're gonna be resting. We're gonna have incredible food. We're gonna have laughs. We're gonna connect. We're gonna get outside and we're gonna have movement and we're gonna have breath work and we're gonna do all these things. But we are going to be recalibrating. We're going to create space to ask these questions that are important. Like, what am I carrying that I don't want to carry into next season? What parts of my life still fit and what have I outgrown? And we're going to do some work on all of that and how to integrate that, how to embody it, all of that. So, if this is something you're interested in, let me know. If you want more information, this is going to be October 16th through 18th in Canandaigua. I will post the link below in the comments um, so that you can check it out. And if you have questions, reach out. Would love to have you. We have 2 spots left, you guys. That is it. So super excited for the women that were just, oh my God, incredible women. And I am just looking forward to this. But with all of that said, I truly, truly am grateful for those of you that have popped on live or that are watching this on replay. Be sure to hashtag replay. Let me know what you think. Let me know your take on this. Because I think all the women I've talked to, it's like, oh my God, I'm so busy and the kids and this and that. And it's like, yes, we need a break. We need rest, but like recalibration is the thing. So I'm honored for those of you that are in my world that listen to this and that just continue to be a source of love for me and love for my family and just a part of my world. And I am grateful for all of that. And so thank you for being here on the longer live today. Of course, I'll be coming at you with some other wildness and my, sauna talks and all of that. But I will catch you guys later. And if you're interested in learning more about the retreat, or if you just want to connect, let me know. Reach out. Have a beautiful rest of your week. As always, go set the world on fire. And I love you guys. See ya.